I'm going to go back here now. I'm going to go to edit page now. So this is a container now, and it's just utilizing containers for this. So this is good. And now I'm going to go back to edit page, and I can see here with edit page that we are going to have sections for that as well. So the header had sections, the footer probably has sections. All of these pages probably utilize sections. So I'm going to so first what I like to do is kind of like dig in and see like, okay, so this has columns and then intersections inside that with more columns. So div tag, div tag, div tag, div tag, like, so just the nested div tags are just crazy in these. So if I click on this hero section, right, I'm going to rename this hero, and I right click, and I'm not going to right click, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click convert right here in the layout tab. Now this did not convert very well. This didn't convert well at all, unfortunately. Let's see if we can figure out what went wrong with this. Sometimes it's actually pretty rare that it does this, but sometimes you're going to get a lot of these containers are going to be unnecessary too, because they had to bring in columns and stuff where we don't need to do that anymore with Flexbox. And this is a good one actually to kind of like try to work on and figure out why it messed up so badly. It doesn't look like it used the background color, did it? Or was it a gradient? Oh, it's a gradient background color. That's interesting. So I can actually look at that. Let's go and let's find the hero here. I'm just going to make these smaller. So we got this hero here. Let's see what the background color is. Background overlay. Oh, it's actually, they're using an image for the background overlay. That's interesting. Looks like it has some radial here or something. We could probably recreate that if we were changing the colors of the website. We would just download this and be like, okay, what are the new colors? Like, because it looks like they have like that kind of, they have like a teal and a pink here. Kind of matches the website all right. But so that's why it doesn't look like it's matching up, because the top and the bottom are different. So the background is good. So let's go into the hero. Let's go into this one. Let's see. We don't have, I can see that on the inside here, there's no real setting. So like what's causing this extra spacing up here in these particular containers. And I can go to advanced. There's nothing set here. So it's not that creating this spacing here. This has a full width setting of 1200 pixels. So I don't know where it would have gotten that from. So if we contain the column inside of the container there, so we have one level down, then this intersection, and width 1200. Why would they set that to that? So some of their settings, obviously it's not going to go 1200. What? Sometimes when I start on some of these templates, it's like, man, I don't know who did this, but they are just a little bit not all there probably. So I'm going to delete this out. There we go. That's better already. I imagine we're going to run into the same thing with this. Yup. There we go. And then what does that look like? Okay. 100%. So that's nothing now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to imagine that this is going to do the same thing. Yep. 1200. Like why? So figuring out what the problem was there was a big part of fixing this issue. But so we're still missing some things, because there's obviously some negative spacing at the top here that has to be there. So is that, but then this is wrong. This is why I leave those in place. Like that's wrong. So basically what I'm going to try to do here is I'm just going to kind of recreate the look and the style of this. It's weird that like those are on separate heights too. So what I'm going to need to do is kind of like just look at this kind of objectively. There's way too many div tags here. You can see them all here. They all have different spacing, so it's really going to throw off my spacing. We don't need that much. We have one item here, then another item, then another item, then another item, and then a button next to that item. So we probably need a container for these. So this is just an item, item, item. So we need a container around all of this. So we have item, 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 item. Oh, this is 3 side by side. So a container here. And then this is, oh, these are all different items too. So then a container here around these. So I'm going to say, so we need this column, this main column here. We don't need this container, or this container. So I'm going to, just from here, because it's easier to drag into these containers from this navigation over here. So I'm just going to drag this up to that. I'm going to drag this up to that, just in the order that it is. And then I'm going to delete that container that has those 2 containers. Okay. And then, so now what I need to do is we need to put these 2 things in a container. So I'm going to bring over a new container underneath this get started. And I'll put the button here. And I want to make sure that this container is going left to right. And then watch video. Oh wait, I forgot the button is in here too, actually. All right, so we got button, watch video, and watch video. Okay, these are supposed to be a little bit closer together. So let's see if it's aligned to the left. Okay. One thing that we could do too is there's a little bit of spacing there. Let's click on this. Let's see how. Yeah, that needs to be a little bit closer together. So I'm just going to do a negative margin here. There might be a better way to do this, but I'm just going to do it like this. Negative left. So I'm just going to move it to the left a little bit. There we go. Looks like there could be, there's this custom width here. I don't want to do that. Same here. I think I want to make sure there's no custom width here as well. When in the old section styles, like that's how you would make this go without having to need a container or whatever, is you would just set a width for it, a custom width for it, and then that would force it up to rotate. So that keeps you from needing a container right here, but you need all these other like 50 containers around it in order to do that. So that's kind of a problem. And then underneath that was this container with these things in it. And it looks like they all got kind of screwed up from this. So I'm just going to bring in a new container. I'm not even going to try and then drag these items in one by one and then try to style them like they had it styled. So let's try to do that. So I'm going to go plus container. And then I'm going to bring those in. Let's see if we can do the same order too. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's go her. And then him. And then him. All right, let's make sure that we're setting the order correctly. There we go. So there's our 4. And then we have this guy right here that comes in next to them. And then we can delete out these containers. Delete. All right, so now we're getting a little bit closer. Oh, I want to fix this. I don't know what's going on with that. Bottom 25, why? That looks pretty good. But I also want to make sure that this is, I don't want it to be full width. So like for some reason, this is full width. So we want to align self to the left. So this is in the advanced tab and I'm lining it to the left. Now there's a lot of different alignments and stuff like that kind of can get a little bit confusing. This is one of the things that we gained with containers, the ability to do stuff like this. The problem with it though, is that it's a little bit more complex. So you kind of have to like play around with stuff. I understand it and I still struggle sometimes trying to figure out what is what and like how to do certain things sometimes. And I just have to play with it. So with these now you can see like how the square doesn't fully cover them. What that means is that there's negative left aligning here, which is good, but it's not enough now because there's spacing automatically from this container. So like if you look, they're overlapping each other, which I like and I think looks cool. So I kind of want to copy that. So let's actually remove the automatic spacing inside this and see how that looks. So you can see that there's a light 20 here. That means that the gaps between the items in this container are going to be 20 pixels apart. Let's set it to 0. There we go. That is much better. So now we have this looking much better and much more like it did initially. The only thing potentially is maybe there's a little bit more spacing here than here, but I think it looks okay. Let's see if, like, the other thing is, once we started fixing these spacing issues and stuff, the spacing up top looks much better because remember, it's got a slide underneath this Wasio. Now we can actually switch places with it. So I'm going to minimize this and minimize this so they're right next to each other. I'm going to drag this one up in the navigation to be above here, and let's see how it looks. Looks good. Spacing looks good up here. This looks good. The only other thing I would say potentially is this section over here might have too many, but it only looks like it really only looks like it's got this one and this one. I think this one here is necessary because these are inside these floating items here. They're absolutely positioned inside this container, I think. Wait, what's this container? That's the container inside. Oh, wait. So no, these JKit icon boxes are inside. So let's just try this. Let's try to drag this container into this container and see if this container is needed. Okay. And then this empty container, let's see if we can delete it. So let's Control Z. Let's see where it kind of went wrong. I think this container here has some kind of top part padding. The top 250 is here. So if I add it to this one, let's see, top 250, bottom 250, and then I pull it up here. Oops. There we go. And then this empty container gets deleted. There we go. Deleted. I eliminated another container, which is kind of cool, but is that what we wanted? Because it's contained within that. So no, it's just one container. There's some functionality and looks here that I really like that I don't want to lose. And I really don't want to spend any more time on this. So I'm just going to Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and put it back. Oh, Control Z one more time. Maybe Control Z one more time. There we go. All right. So this works well. So we got some, like, this is when things like this are happening, we obviously have some negative, like, so she has some negative 120 bottom negative. So it's like shrinking this down. And so there's some weird things going on here. Cool thing about absolute positioning though, when you go into advanced, this is where you find like the position absolute. Default would just put it default in the item below, inside this container below this. But by setting it to absolute positioning, you can have it position itself over and you can kind of like move it around. But the cool thing too is, so you have absolute positioning and you have your offsets here, which you can change where it's located, but you can also just grab this little handle here when it has this and you can put it to wherever it wants and then it'll change these for you automatically. So I'm just going to Control Z because I want to leave it what they had it. And then again, another thing that you have to do and probably is going to be broken is the tablet and mobile version. So this is what sucks about switching these things to containers is you have to check them. So I would still, before you delete this out, I would do that first. So let's check this. So it got rid of this and it got rid of that. So it's hiding those things on there. I think I want a little bit more spacing here. So I'm going to click on this. Actually, I'm going to go to Yeah, I'm going to go negative 140. So we're pulling it underneath this with the negative 140, and then we're giving it padding top to space out the content. It just needs to be more, 140. Let's just see if 140 works. Maybe even a little bit more. Let's try 160. Maybe even a little bit more, 180. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Probably don't even need to hide these on mobile. I mean, on tablet. What's this supposed to look like? Oh, I see. So we have, yeah. So one thing that we lost was this switches to be on top and then this on the bottom. So how we would do that is let's change that first. Like you can kind of see like part of the text is missing here. It's a little bit bunched up there now. Let's go into this and let's go to layout. And for the tablet mode, the direction, let's try down. There we go. Yep, perfect. So now it's down. So and it looks like it needs a little bit more padding on the sides. But now the direction is down when someone is in tablet mode. And we can go here and add some more padding. Let's say 40. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks okay. All right, down. And then for this one, now I kind of want to bring these back. Let's try to bring these back and readjust them. So let's go to advanced. Remember, it's advanced and then responsive. I'm going to unhide on tablet. I'm going to do the same for here. Advanced, responsive, unhide on tablet. And I don't like necessarily that positioning of it. Let's bring it here maybe. Why does that pop up here? Okay. That's kind of cool. All right. Publish, just to make sure I'm saving this as I go. And that looks kind of like that. Now let's check out mobile. Make sure mobile isn't too broken. This will help you grow your business. Might need a little bit more padding up top. So let's go to this first container. And it's all set to 0, but I actually do want a little bit of padding at the top here. I'm going to unlink those. Let's say 40. There we go. Oh, actually, you know what? 40 and then 20. I'll leave that 0 and then 20. There we go. And then for this one, I can just leave that the way that it is. Like this is going to be hidden. It's blacked out, so it doesn't really matter where it is. The only thing is, like, let's see how she looks here. So she's at the bottom. See how she's like sitting at the, like her jeans are at the bottom here. She doesn't look like she's just cut off. So it should be at the bottom of the green. So why isn't she at the bottom of the green? I got to check tablet for that too. I don't want to mess that up. So let's go at the bottom of the green and the pink. No. Okay, so it's at the bottom of the green. So where is that jelly bean looking thing coming from? It is a style. There is no padding, I wonder. Where is that jelly bean looking thing coming from? It's got to be the background of this thing. See it as an image. Okay, it's got to be this. Let's just change this really quick and see if it changes. Yep, okay. So it's a background overlay, but that has a shape. Border radius, top 550. Okay, so it's just a shape. So is she inside? Is she inside this one? Yeah, so she's inside that. So this should bottom 0. There we go. There we go. That's why. Had a negative bottom 20, so it's pulling her below. I don't know why they would have done that like that, but oh well, it is what it is. So now we can, now that we've gotten this so the mobile looks okay here, we can publish it first. We could check the front end if we want, but I'm just going to delete out this hero section. I'm pretty confident that we did a good job. And it looks like it goes into this next section. Really good. So now we're done with this first section, setting it up for our, we may want to fix some spacing between here too, but this actually doesn't look too bad. I forgot to check that, but I think this is how it's supposed to look anyway. That would make sense to me.